It's better be bloody working. Okay. I can't see myself yet. There we are. It's on. It's live. Can everyone hear me? Can I hear myself? It's on. It's live. I can. Great stuff. Okay, so what are we going for? Hang on, how do I make this bigger? That's not the one. How do I get rid of the comments here? Anyway, okay then. Be careful what you wish for, people. That's the first thing I would say. Unless what you're wishing for is this, in which case I will do my best not to disappoint you, which is actually what I say on first dates, which I've never had. But okay, let's go for it. I'm going to be doing, I think, a live reading from the Gospel according to Henry. And I'll just see how that goes, and I'll be taking any questions. There'll be some pauses. You can go make yourself a cup of tea. The slurping. There's going to be comments for the slurping, isn't there? I apologize. Stop apologizing. Why do you hate yourself so much? Hello from Detroit. Hello from Toronto. Pasadena. Australia. My God. Don't screw it up, Danny. The people in Pasadena are going to be furious. What else have we got? Oz. A lot of people from Australia, eh? Atlanta. Russia. Oh, dear. Birmingham. Great. Well, we seem to have a few people watching, so lovely. I guess we'll get started, and I'll try and answer your questions as I go, if I get any. Everyone's just saying hello from Papua New Guinea. All right, I'm just going to stop reading place names because, you know, it's probably not that entertaining, is it? It's questionable entertainment value. All right, let me find my place. Give me a second. All right, I'm not proficient at this. This is not my forte. Okay, here we go. From Wakanda. Lovely. Troll. All right. So, oh, for God's sake. There we. That's not it either. Hang on, I'll get there. I've got a particularly interesting chapter I want to read to you all from my favorite book. Now, somebody said before I started this live stream, I posted on the community. I said, can send me a question, send me things that you want me to talk about. And somebody said, somebody who comments on all my videos, that I could make my video about Jane Eyre on this live stream. And I was thinking about that, but then the voice of Chris Eubank came to me. One of those things that lives rent-free in my head, when he said to a journalist, your line of questioning isn't conducive to a good interview. Well, I think your line of questioning is not conducive to a good live stream. Okay. And me trying to find my place in Harry's book, now that is conducive to a good live stream. Okay. And I'm getting there. Don't think I'm not getting there. I'm almost there. It's another thing I say on my first dates. Here's a fun fact. I don't think I've ever had a first date with my wife since I was 18. We just met at a nightclub. So, fun fact. All right, let's get into it. So, this is going to be awful. Let's go for it. It's not going to be awful. It's going to be amazing. All right. Let's do this. Chapter 67. This is, and I want to preface this reading, right? Because it's not just gratuitous me reading somebody's book. It's not that, okay? It's 1,000 times not that. All right? So stop. It's not that. It's what it is. It's it's brilliant. And I want the world to know how brilliant Harry's memoir was. All right? And that's it. That's my only aim. I just want people to appreciate it. Maybe I'm overcooking it a little. It is good though. This is a great chapter, and this is a running theme in Harry's books. He has these amazing experiences. It reminds me of that character on the Fast Show who would just tell these amazing stories about rubbing shoulders with billionaires and whatever, and then would just end the story with, which was nice. But Harry ends his stories with, which was terrible. So dark. Well, this story that I'm about to read to you now is it's from chapter 67 of Spare. And you can't copyright me because I'm paraphrasing. I read it in real time and paraphrase it in my head. Yeah, I'm that good. Meg and I were on the phone with Elton John and his husband David, and we confessed we need help. Can you imagine Prince Harry ringing you up? You're Elton John. You've seen it all. You're addicted to coke. You've seen it all. And and you've got Prince Harry, who is Prince Harry, no less, telling you that you need help. All right, let's see where he goes with this. We're sort of losing it, guys. Come to us, said Elton. Okay. This sounds like another dark episode, Harry, when Elton John invited you to his house because you were kind of losing it. Come to us, Elton said, by which he meant their home in France. Their home in France, right? And I'm reading it like that because Harry reads it like that. Oh, God. By which he meant their home in France, their chateau. Summer 2019. So we did. For a few days, we sat on their terrace and soaked up their sunshine. We spent long healing moments gazing out at the azure sea. Blue. Azure is a word that twats use for blue, right? Just in case you didn't know. Long healing moments gazing out at the azure sea. And it felt decadent. It was decadent, Harry. You were in Elton John's French chateau, gazing at the azure sea, basking in the sunshine. That is decadent. It's fine. You're Prince Harry. You can do stuff like that. For most of us, yes, that does seem somewhat decadent. Jesus. Ha! Thawing out his todger, someone said. Good one. Got him. Anyway, sitting down and reading, I've noticed, makes me dizzy. Is that a medical condition, do you think? Is it a panic attack? Is it the caffeine? all things I suppose I should consult with my GP, but I'm a man, so that won't be happening anytime soon. It felt decadent, not just because of the luxurious setting. Freedom of any kind, in any measure, had come to feel like scandalous luxury. Scandalous luxury. Freedom of any kind. Remember, he lives in a gilded cage. So, azure is light blue in Italian, no? Asks Annalie. Well, the word azure, I believe, is English. But yeah, I mean, in Latin languages, in Spanish, we call blue azul. So there you go. People will say, my eyes are azul, azules, because there's two of them. We pluralize adjectives here. Oh, no, I'm going back into my English teaching days. I'll have to react to some of my early videos at some point. That was another suggestion by the same lady who wanted me to do a Jane Eyre review for this live stream. But she said I could react to some of my old videos. Now that I could see that could be conducive to a good live stream. Anyway, where the hell was I? It had come to feel like scandalous luxury to be out at the fishbowl for even an afternoon. Felt like day release from prison. Who here has been to prison? Anyone in the chat been to prison ever? And would you describe it as being like Prince Harry living in his palaces with his Instagram loving bitch wife? And I'm sorry, that's a quote from South Park. Don't come for me, Boozy. I repent. It felt like day release from prison anyway. That's the point, okay? That's what we need to understand. Him going to Elton John's French chateau by the Azure Sea was similar to what offenders feel when they get day release from prison. You know, they're allowed out during the day with their electronic tag on their ankle. They're allowed back to the council estate house probably, and that is like him going to Elton John's chateau. It's similar. It's not exactly the same. It's just a point of reference so that you understand. Never mind, you'd never get it. You know, no one can understand Harry's suffering. Least of all you haters. One afternoon, we took a scooter ride with David around the local bay, down the coastal road. I was driving. Now, I would not be happy. He's got such a glazed expression. It just, I mean, I don't mean to be cruel, but what if he had one of those moments, you know, the last time he was in France driving, we all know what happened. You know, he wanted to be driven through the tunnel at high speed in Paris. What's to say he wouldn't just, you know, swerve into oncoming traffic? I want to know how it feels. I don't know. Well, no, I shouldn't laugh at his trauma, should I? I shouldn't. Back to this. It's good enough. I don't need to add anything really, which is the secret to my success in many ways. What was the saying? Good artists borrow or imitate or something like that. Great artists steal. So I'm a fucking brilliant artist. Who said that? Does anyone know who said that? Was it Picasso? Was it Dali? I don't know who it was. It was someone like that. Some quirky Spanish guy, I think. Tammy Golden says, you were an English teacher. Yeah, I still am. I suspect some of my students may watch this, and I say to them, "You're holding me back." No. This is like my day release from prison, right? Okay. Anyway, it was W.C. Fields, says Ariel. Yeah, basically Salvador Dali. So, you know, whatever. After they took a scooter around down down the coastal road, I was driving. Meg was on the back. Meg was on the back, and she threw her arms. Oh, God. She threw her arms and shouted for joy as we zoomed through little towns, smelt people's dinners from open windows, waved to children playing in their gardens. They literally did what South Park said they did. They went on a tour of the world. Can you imagine that? Prince Harry and Meghan driving through your quaint little village and like waving at all the children, sniffing the dinners in the window. What the fuck are they doing? They all waved back and smiled. Sure they did. They're French. French people don't. They don't have common courtesy. Are there any French people watching? Hello? No, I'm joking. I don't hate French people. It's a stereotype that we have that French people are rude, which is 100% disprovable. Just go to France. People are not, they're not rude in France. They all waved back and smiled. They didn't know us. They did know you. You're Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and you've come out of Elton John's chateau, and you're riding around on a scooter, waving at everyone like a normal pedestrian. Like a normal person wouldn't do that. A normal civilian wouldn't behave like that. Yeah, behaving. This is their day release from prison. We can act like normal people. Normal people don't do that. They don't. It's not a thing. You know, frolicking around like that. You know, they think they're mingling with the commoners. in the, I want to know what village it is. I don't know what village it. Well, they probably wouldn't say, would they? But some gated community, probably. I don't know. Insane. The best the best part of our visit was watching Elton and David and their two boys fall in love with Archie. What? I didn't say anything, all right? If you're thinking you're sick, okay, you're sick. I didn't know. Elton and David and their two boys fall in love with Archie. Good. That's great. Often I'd catch Elton studying Archie's face, and I knew what he was thinking. Mummy. Oh, all right. That's what he was. Yeah, of course. Mummy. What mummy? His mummy. Elton John's mummy. I knew because it happened so often to me as well. Time and again, I'd see an expression cross Archie's face, and it would bring me up short. Okay, it's all about Diana again. Here we go. I nearly said so to Elton, how much I wished my mother could hold her grandson, how often it happened that while hugging Archie, I felt her or wanted to. It must be so unbearable to be in Harry's presence. You're scootering around the gated community of Elton John's chateau by the Azure Sea. sniffing people's dinners, which is probably Harry's second favourite smell after Meghan. Remember, he said Meghan was his favourite smell when he went on that terrible late night show. Stephen Colbert, that was it. Anyway, that's the situation he's in. He describes it as like day release from prison. So just like, oh, phew, thank God I'm in Elton John's chateau gated community, right? Oh, that's a relief. That's a relief from fucking Buckingham Palace or Frogmore Cottage or wherever the hell he was living at the time. And then the thing he wants to talk to Elton John about in the gated community by the Azure Sea as they're sniffing dinners, waving at random children, he wants to bring up his dead mother. Fuck off. Nobody cares. I'm sorry, nobody cares anymore. That's why Elton John, oh God. Why would I could not be with a person like that. So much self-pity. Just shut up. Oh. Jesus. Anyway. Adobo. Anyway. Yeah, so he nearly said that to Elton. Thank God he didn't. Every hug tinged with nostalgia, every tuck-in touched with grief. Really, every time you hug your child, that you're getting like thoughts of your mother. Every time you tuck your child into bed, you're like the joy of your life. You're thinking about your dead mother. When your wife was giving birth to him, you set up candles and pictures of your dead mother all around the hospital room. Whatever. Which is apparently Meghan's idea. Why am I'm going down the rabbit hole on? I just read the damn book, Danny. Does anything bring you face to face with the past like parenthood? Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. Whatever. On the last night, we were all experiencing that familiar end of holiday malaise. that end of holiday malaise. Why can't it be like this forever? It is like that forever. Oh, shit, I've just realised. Then he quit the royal family. Because he's like, oh, shit, I've got to go back to England and cut ribbons. Yeah. But then most of your life, whatever, I don't know. I've said that I wouldn't want to be a working royal. I think it'd be shit. So don't even try and get me. I'm not up for it, okay? Okay, royal family. No. I'm happy not being in your family because it's easier for me. It just works out better for me like that. Okay? We're fine. But yeah, I can understand not wanting to do all those boring events and stuff, but I've said it all before, Anna. Anyway, on the last night when he was experiencing his end of holiday malaise, why can't it be like this forever? We were drifting from the terrace to the pool and back again. Elton offering cocktails of what? Drugs, hardcore illegal drugs, or just cocktails. I think. David and I chatting about the news and the sorry state of the press. And what it meant for the state of Britain. Yes, nobody better to discuss the state of Britain and the things as they are than Prince Harry and David, whatever his bloody name is, who's married to Elton John. Right? They are very much salt of the earth kind of guys. who can just tell it like it is. Imagine those two shooting the shit, right? Elton John's husband and Prince Harry. Now, I cannot begin to imagine a more dull and at the same time out of touch conversation. But there you go. That's just me. We got onto books. Well, what did you discuss? Jane Eyre? Like I was supposed to, like I promised to. We got onto books. David mentioned Elton's memoir. How intellectual. David mentioned Elton's memoir, at which he'd been toiling for years. Toiling. Oh, I can't write this bloody memoir. Oh, David, I'm so angry. The fucking memoir. I'm toiling with it. Anyway, Elton's been toiling with his memoir for years. It was finally done, and Elton was mighty proud of it, and the publication date was drawing near. Bravo, Elton. Bravo, dickhead. Bravo, you. Just uses the word bravo, and I can imagine him saying, bravo, Elton. And I would think, I'd be tempted to say, oh, God. God, the high school bully in me is coming out every time I hear him speak. If someone in my circle of friends said, bravo, Danny, unironically, bravo, Danny, what would you do? How would you react? How could you cope? Bravo, Elton. Bravo, dick. Bravo, Elton, dick. Bravo, Elton. Elton mentioned that it was going to be serialized. Is that so? God, this is dull. Yes, Daily Mail. He saw my face. Yeah, can you imagine the expression? You know, when Harry's happy, you know how he looks when he's happy. You know how he looks when he's shocked. Gazing into nothingness, the void which occupies his mind. Yes, the Daily Mail. He saw my face. He quickly looked away. Yeah. You would, wouldn't you? You'd look at his face, you'd see Harry's face. And then just went back about his cocktail of drugs, I guess. You know? Elton, how in the absolute... Dash. Just writes dash. How do I express dash? Dash. How in the absolute dash? I want people to read it. I want people to read it, he said. But Elton, the very people who've made your life miserable. I mean, is Elton's life miserable? He's been a millionaire for 60 years. I mean, it could be miserable still. He always seems pretty happy, doesn't he? Quite a gay fellow. I like Elton John. I don't want to hate on Elton John. Really. But anyway. The very people who've made your life miserable. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's got over it. He's moved on, right? Don't you get that, Harry? He's fine. He's Elton John. He doesn't care if the Daily Mail write mean things about him because he's fucking Elton John. You know, he's bigger than life itself. Oh, God. That's it, I think, isn't it? It's because his life is just kind of meaningless. That's what it is, I think. This is his obsession with like what people say about him, the royal family not protecting him enough, his brother being, I don't know, favoured. It's just because he's bored and doesn't like, he's directionless and doesn't have, there's no meaning in his life. That's it. I've finally worked it out. You heard it here first, people. Prince Harry's life is lacking meaning. You should do a sit down instead of with that, what's his face? That Hungarian guy. What was his name? Tell me his name, people. Now. Gabor Mate. That was it. Instead of sitting down with him, you should sit down with Jordan Peterson. Now, no, not all of you love Jordan Peterson because you're wrong. But that would be a great conversation. He's exactly the kind of guy that Jordan Peterson could help. Look, pull yourself together, man. You're nearly 40. You're a millionaire. Do something meaningful with your life. Stop bitching about everything. Anyway, and that's basically what Elton's saying to him here, but he doesn't get it, right? But Elton, the very people who've made your life miserable. Exactly. What better? Who better to accept it? Where better than the very newspaper? This isn't Elton John. He doesn't talk like that. I think I'm doing an impression of someone else who did an impression of it. Like Bo Selector or something. I don't know. Where better than the very newspaper that's been so poisonous to me my whole life? Who better? Who better? And he did say better, right, with a D, not a T. Who better? I don't understand. I don't understand. It was a warm night, so I'd already been sweating. Imagine his dishevelled, stubbly face all sweaty. I'm sorry. I shouldn't go after his appearance, should I? You know. I do feel though he was quite a handsome lad a few years ago. I'm being such a little gossip bitch and I hate myself. But he was kind of like very masculine, wasn't he? He's kind of got poofy as he's got older. Since he's been with Meghan, let himself go a bit. It's disappointing, right? Why does that disappoint me? Why does it concern me? Who knows? It looks like Daniel. Good one. Anyway, it was a warm night, so I'd already been sweating. Sorry, he said sweating, not sweating. But no, beads were dripping off my forehead, down my back, into my anus. No, it doesn't say that. Making my anus irritable. No, it doesn't say anything like that. It just says dripping down his forehead. I reminded him of the specific lies the Mail had famously printed about him. Hell, he'd sued them just over a decade earlier. Yes, he's owning them. He's taking them to court and say, you will pay me and then you'll print my book, bitches, right? That's a great, manly, owning yourself, owning them response. Great. He'd sued them just over a decade earlier after they claimed he forbade people at a charity event from speaking to him. I wonder if Elton John did forbid people from speaking to him. Such a massive diva. I can imagine Elton being a bit angry, you know, a bit grumpy. He looks a bit grumpy sometimes. And he does look like a diva, doesn't he? I don't know. Fuck off! Fucker, I told you not to let them speak to me. I'm furious. I'm leaving. You scum. I reminded him of the specific lies the Mail had made, had famously printed about him. That he'd forbade people from a charity event from speaking to him. They'd ultimately written him a cheque for £100,000. Water off a duck's back. You know, he moved on. Sweat off Harry's anus. That's how you should, you know, whatever. He moved on. He got his £100,000. He's like, you know what? Let them print my book. Good on you, Elton. I've got your back. I reminded him that he'd stirringly said in one interview, they can say I'm a fat old C word. A fat old. See you next Tuesday. They didn't write that, surely. The Daily Mail did not call him a fat old Canute. Surely. That they don't print stuff like that, do they? They can say I'm an untalented bastard. Untalented. I mean, you can't say he's untalented. Look at him play that piano. He had the voice of an angel when he was younger. Kind of went downhill in the 90s, didn't it? Something happened to his voice box. I think he had surgery or something. And then he was kind of like lower and baritone. Whatever. Nobody cares about Elton John. And who remembers The Lion King? That was good, wasn't it? Kate! Things that live in my head rent-free. All of the scenes of The Lion King. Every day. Oh, I shall have to practice my curtsy. What are you doing, Danny? So Elton John goes, they can say I'm a fat old Canute. They can say I'm an untalented bastard. They can call me a puff. That's a word that stopped getting used, isn't it? Puff. You puffed her. There's always a bit of debate. Is it puff, 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 poof? And then my mum was kind of like a bit of a hippie, right? And I lived on a council estate and I was vegetarian. Oh, look at me like Peepaw here telling his stories. I lived on a council estate. Oh God, working class hero. Get your shit together, Danny. Anyway, I lived on a council estate, but I had this sort of paradox of this kind of hippie mother and being vegetarian and she had this thing. There's a couple of them in our living room. It was an item of furniture, I guess you would call it. And I'm describing something that you're all going to know. But the people of Parson Cross did not know what my mother meant when she said, pass me the puff, Daniel. And so the council estate yokels I hung around with, myself included, I wasn't better than them, took delight in my mum's turns of phrase. Pass me the puff, Daniel, in a sort of semi-refined Birmingham accent. Sort of half neutral, half Birmingham. Like the intonation of Birmingham, but neutral. Bizarre. Really, totally bizarre way of talking. It's like the intonation of Birmingham, but without pronouncing the words like someone from Birmingham. Just a little, you know. So they always sound like they're doubting themselves, Brummies, don't they? They probably are. Their confidence has probably been knocked from all of those interviews that they get rejected from. That's genuinely true. It's Edinburgh privilege, I call it. People from Edinburgh get the job every bloody time, don't they? With their lovely Scottish accents, right? Not so much Glaswegians. They sound a bit scubby, you know. Sorry, Glaswegians. Sorry, Brummies. Brummies, I am sorry. Half my family are Brummies, right? You do sound like deaf people. Like deaf people sort of speak a little bit like that. And I'm sorry for deaf people, God. Yeah, anyway, so my mum had a puff in the living room. 2 of them. And that was kind of funny, living on Parson Cross to the idiots, the ignoramuses that lived around me. All right. Anyway, they can call me a puff, but they mustn't lie about me. Right. So it doesn't mind them being insulting. They can't slander, right? I guess slander, no calumnies, no lies. What he said, I guess. He didn't answer, but I didn't push it. I loved him. I'll always love him. And I loved him. I'll always love him. Even if it turns out I am in no place to get sued by Elton John. And I also didn't want to spoil the holiday. And that's the end of the chapter. 42 minutes is all it took me to read 2 pages. It's good how I can stretch it out, isn't it? You know, it's a real talent. Let's get a few more minutes of questions. I'm going to try and answer some questions. How do I find anything on here? I don't know what I'm doing. How do I find questions? Is it over? Asks Judy Jackson. That's a question. Well done. Well played. It's not over. That's why you're still watching me. So it's not over yet. Is it ever going to be over? Will I just stay on here permanently now, as you know, to get a few more likes, to get a little bit more watch time? How low will I go is the real question we're all asking, isn't it? There is an awful lot to unpack. That's true. More tea? I don't have tea, it's coffee, actually. They don't do good tea here in Spain. Or at least I haven't seen it. No PG Tips. Or I did see Tetley's once in Mercadona, right, which is a supermarket here. One of the many supermarkets. So we're talking about Spanish supermarkets now. For those of you who've just joined us, I think we can all agree that this is going to be the best part of the video. What do you think of, hang on, don't keep scrolling, you silly chat. What do you think of WME working with Meghan Markle? I don't think. I have no opinion. I'm sorry. Whatever. What do I think? That's a good question. What do I think about that? I don't know. It's just another fucking thing she's done, innit? In a boring, meaningless, shitty life. You know? Azure from French, Arabic, etc. Middle English, Azure. Well, thank you, ME1. Knowing ME. Another rent-free in my head. I used to drink PG Tips, says someone. I can't control this thing. How do I? Oh, anyway, never mind. I want to know what the Spanish think of H&M. Well, It's probably not as popular a high street shop as it is in England. Oh, you mean Harry and Meghan? Well, they all think I'm gay now because I make videos about Harry and Meghan. Nah. What do people think? I don't think they know, really. I don't think they're that aware of it. You know, like, there's a few sort of Anglophiles that I know who are aware of it and will watch my videos, and they'll sort of say, "Oh my God, I can't believe she's like that," and they had no idea about it beforehand. And I'm bringing the truth to the Spanish people in a sense. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's not really something they talk a lot about. The big thing recently has been Ana Obregón. She did the surrogate pregnancy with her dead son's sperm. That made it into the British press as well, didn't it? I think so. Everyone's been arguing about that, and I didn't really care. Are you still a vegetarian? Asks Mary Chris Staples. I'm not. I decided, fuck animals. Don't. Oh shit, that'll get me. Not. Don't. That. I mean, to hell with animals. And also, I don't mean that. Not. No animal cruelty. No, I was about 23. I'd been living in Spain for 4 years ish, and the food looks really good here. This is really interesting, isn't it? So the food in Spain. Thing is, I was vegetarian all my life in England, right? And in England, the food is crap, in my honest opinion, right? And I just didn't have an appreciation of food. And I'd see meat. It's like I'm eating a vegetarian lasagna and other people are eating a meat lasagna. What the hell? Who cares, right? It's just bloody lasagna. Am I right, people? It's just bloody lasagna, isn't it? God, this is fun. But when you come to Spain and you see them fucking pulling fish out of the bloody sea and like slaughtering bulls in the bull ring before your very eyes, and they're all dancing in the street, ole. They're it just everything looks good here. It really does. Like you're walking down the street in like the shittest area of my town, and in the window there's a fish tank window. Every few hundred yards there'll be a restaurant like this. Fucking spider crabs and velvet crabs and shrimp and all alive, swimming around in there. Fish as well. Sometimes the fish will normally be dead and they'll be on ice in the window, and it's just like, what? That looks amazing. You can't resist it. And I did think you only live once, according to scripture, and there's nothing that doesn't say I can't eat meat. So I think it was a late onset teenage rebellion, to be honest, because I was brought up vegetarian and I was like, you know what? I'm 23 years old. I can do what I want. Do you like Morrissey? Yes. Yes, I was obsessed with Morrissey for years. And then I started to think he was a bit of a prat. And then recently I've started to think he's really pretty based, because I liked his, and I know a lot of people won't like what I say, but I liked his response to all the COVID restrictions and everything. It's exactly what I've always thought. I think he's just a contrarian. He's somebody who loves freedom, hates despots, and I think he's got a good sense of humor. Thing is, in interviews he often comes across as like unbearably shy, doesn't know what to say, awkward. Well, I get the feeling he's the sort of person I'd do. I like Morrissey? Yeah, I like Morrissey. I love the Smiths more than Morrissey as a solo artist. Definitely, the Smiths were amazing. Like just the sound of Johnny Marr's guitar and Morrissey's weird singing and the lyrics obviously are amazing. Yeah, big Smiths fan. Old Hollywood Angel says, Daniel, we find you hot. Okay. That's not a question. Why did you read it out then, Danny? Yeah. Oh, why is it gone again? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here, guys. How soon is now? Somebody likes that song. Are you vaccinated? Now, somebody's asking, am I vaccinated? And that is my personal choice. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the truth. Yeah. And I think I'm an idiot for having done it. I did get vaccinated twice. But that third time I was like, no, sir. I don't know why I did it. Actually, I do know why I did it. I know exactly why I did it. It was because here in Spain, it was particularly draconian for a while. And it did feel like the only way out would be to get vaccinated. At no point did it cross my mind to think that it was dangerous for me or anything, you know, the illness, I mean. But I thought I wasn't going to be allowed to live my life. Like, I honestly thought that it was so unbearable. You had to wear masks here outside for like a year. And the police would genuinely like chase you down if you didn't. I got told to put my mask over my nose outside by policemen. That really traumatized me. I've got to say, I know I'm always taking a piss out of people, but it's 2 years of my life that I know a lot of people went through worse, right? I know bloody Stalin's Russia. I know people are starving now, and I know shit like that. But it was like when you've lived in freedom for so long, when you've got small businesses like I have here, I run 2 language schools, and they just say, "Fuck you, you're closed." You can't see your friends or family. And I know it was sort of like, oh, a lot of people say, well, I understand my grandparents' generation went through worse things. I understand loads of people are going through worse things, but I couldn't bear it. And I felt like it was insane and unjustified. And I opposed every single measure right from the start. But I didn't have the balls here in Spain to do anything about it, because you just couldn't. You just couldn't. Everyone shouted you down. Like, I had a lot of arguments with people about it, and it was just, it splits society in half. Like, it really was so tense for so long. And politicians, you know, just playing on everyone's weaknesses, you know, the left's starvation for controlling the mob, the right's obsession with cleanliness and order. So it wasn't even like left versus right, you know, it was just everyone against a minority of what I felt were free thinkers and critical thinkers. And we're just like, hang on a bit, I'm fucking wearing a mask outside while I stroll on the fucking beach. Are you joking? So that's the short answer. Do you want the long one? Am I vaccinated? Yeah, I did get vaccinated, and well, hopefully it won't be it won't kill me. I don't know. All right, let's see. Let's get some more questions. Oh, everyone's just commenting on bloody vaccines now. Oh God, what have I done? This is, God, don't demonetize. I don't think you get demonetized for this kind of thing anymore, do you? Oh, I've been speaking for so long about so many things. I'm bound to have said something wrong today about one community or other. Wrong thing. Bad boy. Do your parents still live in Sheffield? Is a question. All right. My mother has just sold her house in Sheffield. She's got a house here where I live in Spain. My father, as far as I know, yeah, still lives in Sheffield. So less said about that, the better, I think. And I'm sorry I'm not getting to everyone's questions. It's like I try and stop the scroll, and then when I go to move it again, it just jumps right to the bottom. So I've got no idea where I am, really. Oh no. Someone asked me, what's your favorite color? Azure, of course. So you don't want to do Dylan Mulvaney? Someone's saying. What do you mean, do I want to do Dylan Mulvaney? Someone's asking about that. Yeah, I've done videos on Dylan in the past. I've done several. The first one I did was months and months ago. Last year sometime. It did pretty well. I think it got nearly 100,000 views. And I don't know. The thing is with Dylan Mulvaney, I can't get past, and I know people don't agree with me again, I can't get past seeing him as a troll. And I know, I understand, right? Don't cancel me. I understand that there are loads of negative side effects for people believing that he is a woman and whatever. I understand all of that. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm on Twitter a lot, and I see a lot of people that freak me out way more than Dylan Mulvaney and seem way more pernicious. Even like his friend Jeffrey Marsh, is it? He, to me, seems way worse, way creepier, way less fun, way less talented. And even then, I'm not sure he's not deliberately being creepy for clicks. You know, you'd be surprised how low us scumbag content creators would go. Ah, the self-hatred. Has Daniel answered any of our questions yet? Yes, I have. Caught you. I'm trying. It's very difficult. Oh, God. Everything. Daniel, do you have a hobby? Why, yes, making YouTube videos. Now, I play paddle. That's, oh God, that's so dull, isn't it? Paddle's like tennis with walls. No, it's not squash. All you English-speaking people. God, you uncouth morass. No, it's yeah, like tennis with walls. I do that. That and dogging. No, I don't do. I am. I think accidentally like the most traditional person I've ever met. I think I've fantasized my whole life about being this badass, and I'm not. I'm like, I've been with the same woman since I was 18, and got married when I was 24. And why am I giving all this personal information away? Because that's how you make a living. It's how you feel validated, Danny. Don't keep justifying it. What else? Janet. Oh, God, it's moving too fast. All right, Janet. Some of my questions might have already been answered, like how many languages does Daniel know? I don't. I only speak English and Spanish, and I say only because it's like a lot of the time in my videos, I don't know if I should say it because it's kind of funny, isn't it? The air of mystique. But I guess not the whole world's going to see this, unfortunately. So it will still, there'll still be an air of mystery, whatever I say. But yeah, I do pretend to speak French in a few videos. I think I'm quite good at accents sometimes, and imitating. So I read up, I translate from English into French or Spanish into French because that tends to be more reliable. and I just practice pronouncing it a few times and then say it in the video. And I get like a sentence out in French and people are like, oh my God, is there anything he can't do? He does it all. I know I nicked that little line there. Another thing that lives rent free in my head, Jim Carrey's only ever stand up. Yeah. Anyway, what else? What else have we got? Dogging, lol. That got a lol. Leo, where's Leo? He's out. They're all at the horse show. What shit? What time is it? Oh, it's 4:30. I got plenty of time. Yes, my daughter is competitive show jumper. So yeah, that's where I'm going after this. And that's where Leo is, running around having the time of his life. Nika says, how old is Daniel? I could do one with like my height, couldn't I? But the thing is, I bet somebody knows how old I am. Don't they? There's probably some stalkers in the chat. How old do you think I am? Those wrinkles. Oh, look at that. Immediately, loads of people saying 33 and 34. Yeah, I was born in 1989. I will be 34 this year. 41? 87. Okay. All right. You've had your fun. You think you're so funny, don't you? Daniel, do you find yourself to be the most hilarious question? Person? Yes. No, I'm not at all. Especially living in Spain. I don't think it's exactly because of my sense of humor, but I do rely on words to make people laugh. You know, I'm not like a clown. I don't just walk around like, I can't. How can I explain? So Spanish is my second language and I speak quite well, but that you're still missing something. Because I've been here like 14 years, so I'm probably about as funny as I was when I was 14 in England. Nah, I'm joking. I was bloody hilarious when I was 14. Ask anyone. Anyway, 13 in his mind. Oh, my mental age. Do you have a pet? They asked. Yes, Leo the dog. You know it. Oh, and we've got a tortoise whose name I don't even know what he's called. Does he have a name? Is he a he? He's in the kitchen, whatever he is. What else? What hair gel do you use? Now that is a quality question, right? I have struggled with hair gel all my bloody life. Now, I'll take you through my hair gel history. I used to go back to England and get Weller VO5, this blue shit, thinking it was the only one that works. Then I used to get this really cheap one here for years from the supermarket, Giorgini or whatever it's called. And that kind of, but now there's this really trendy barbershop on my street. Spain's lovely. And in fact, the guy does Twitch streams now with footballers and stuff. Anyway, it's this trendy barbershop. And he cuts my hair. And he put this like powder on. And it's called Uppercut. And it really works for my hair. Okay. So, God, what am I doing? Oh, it really does, though. It looks dry. It looks like I've got that hair, doesn't it? It looks natural. It's not. I got like Chinese people hair. Like my hair's just like really, it's just like really soft and silky and flat and looks ridiculous unless I sort of ruffle it up. And of course I don't like style it properly because I'm so self-conscious, and I wouldn't want people to think for a second that I actually care about my physical appearance. But I'm obsessed. Someone said Clint Eastwood. You remind me of the son of Clint Eastwood. Wow. Yeah, he wishes. I've got to admit, Clint Eastwood, I think, he's like my male crush. I love Clint Eastwood. I think he's the best looking man that's ever lived. And his sons are probably a close second. Then there's Paul Newman and what's his face? Marlon Brando. They were pretty handsome. Use pomade? No. I don't even know what that is. Pomade? What's your zodiac sign? Oh, God. You don't believe in that, do you? I'm joking. I don't even know what's real anymore. But I'll say this. I saw a great bit by, I don't know the name of the comedian whose bit I'm about to butcher right now, but it was like a YouTube short. So sorry to whoever it was. He just went, does anyone believe in the zodiac? Okay, what, you believe it? You think you can tell? Like, what am I? And you think you can tell? Oh, fucking hell, I'm butchering it. He goes, okay, you think you know what I am? You think you can tell? And he goes, all right, I'm Aries. And then loads of people in the crowd go, I knew it. And he's like, what? You knew it? You knew it? I'm lying. I'm actually Scorpio. I knew it. He's like, no, I'm not Scorpio either. And that was fantastic. It was fantastic. And a 16-year-old me, who was into Richard Dawkins and Darren Brown and all the skeptics and Skeptoid and the Skeptoid podcast and stuff like that in my atheist days, would have bloody loved that bit. It was still funny. Are gay? Someone asked. Are you asking, am I gay? No. 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 No, I'm not. Roger the tortoise. He's Roger from now on. Or is that an order? This live session is loads of fun. Thank you. Flat hair syndrome. Yeah, I have that. Scott Eastwood. OMG, yes. Clint Eastwood is a badass. Are there any more bloody questions here? Would you consider getting a man bun? I think even twats have stopped with the top knot shit, haven't they? God, that was an awful period of human history. Jesus Christ, the rise and spectacular fucking fall of the twats, of the what did we call them? The hipsters. They were awful, weren't they? All desperately trying to be unique and all being exactly the same, exactly alike. That is truly something to look back on and cringe. Todger the tortoise. Hey, what do you call it? Alliteration? I'll just call it alliteration. I don't think that's the word. Is that the word? Don't answer that. I don't care. Hey, these are the best answers. That's true. What? I've said about a billion things. I'm sorry, old Hollywood angels. You've made loads of comments. Thanks. Would you get plastic surgery when you get older? No friggin' way. Actually, I have thought about this, right? If I got bags under the eyes, like really, you know, some people get like poofy bags. Poofy, that's featured a lot today. Yeah, I think I might do that. I might get rid of them. Why does everyone think I'm gay? If I got some poofy bags under my eyes. Ooh, I wouldn't like that. Lisa Passmore says she loves getting old. Cut in the wine then. Cut out on the wine. Saying that'll give me puffy bags. Don't know. I don't mind wrinkles. Look at Clint Eastwood. He looks amazing in his 60s. Looks pretty good now in his 90s. Someone asked, do I drink alcohol? Yeah. Somewhat. I still haven't really learned how to drink properly. So I avoid it during the week. And then at the weekend, yeah, I think I drink too much. I shouldn't say that on camera. Why am I telling people this? I'm so, why do I need such validation? Are you a man of faith? That's very deep. Jesus. You are British, so of course you drink. Yeah, we do drink too much, don't we? I've noticed that. I have a problem with it as well. It's like binge drinking. Do you use face cream? I do, right on the crow's feet area. Are you a teacher in Spain? I mean, teacher is pushing it a bit. I'm a TEFL teacher. Oh boy, does he drink alcohol. Do you know, that's another thing that stays with me forever, because in the office, when there's in the UK office and at the party, someone asks David Brent if he drinks or something like that. I can't remember what the interaction is. And then he turns to the guy who works there. He's like, he just asked me if I drink. And he goes, yeah, he drinks. And then just turns back to his conversation. That's kind of how I feel. It's like you don't make light of it if you don't handle your drink well, because it's funny for a while, but you should take it seriously. Yeah, I don't know. It's I listen to a lot of men who are older than me talking about how they quit drink around my age, and I've been considering it. It's not good for you. And I definitely feel better when I don't drink. So it disturbs your sleep and everything. It's just, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to anything else other than my alcoholism. Yeah. Do you ever talk about your accent? Did someone seriously? Is that because you have an absent father? Is what? Because I have an absent father. How far are you joining the video late, perhaps? Don't blame shit on your childhood. I know people's childhood affects them. I know, but once you realize that, you lose the right to blame shit that you do on it. In my opinion, right? If you're in control, you're either in control or you're not, right? So my shitty behavior, if I ever have any, on the rare occasion I the mask slips, and I say or do something I shouldn't. I could blame aspects of my upbringing, but it's pathetic. I hate other people who do it, and I try at all costs to avoid that. And even talking about it now makes me feel a bit embarrassed, because it's like, no, I don't think that at all. I don't think you can blame the way you are on stuff that you're fully aware of, right? Maybe if, I don't know, there's some kind of trauma that's unresolved, I don't know. But no, I don't think so. I think I'm just a complicated person. I think everyone tries to reduce. I think everyone's complicated, and I think a lot of the time we try to just explain people with, I don't know, an experience from their life, or an illness they have, or I don't know, putting a name on it. You know, yeah, I understand why people do that. I get it, guys. God, God. Can you see the you can see the voices, can't you? They're coming out. Shut up, you sound too sincere. You don't sound sincere enough. Do I smoke weed? Someone asks. I don't do any drugs at all. I have, when I was younger, like just weed a few times, and I think 6 times in total. Maybe I've had other drags when I'm drinking when I was younger as well and stuff like that. But I remember specifically 6 occasions over a period of about a few months when I was about 18, 19. And 3 of them were funny. I just laughed a lot. It was great. And then the other 3, I basically had panic attacks. Like proper full on, going cold sweat, thinking people were trying to kill me. Like, it's just an insane reaction. Like, I don't see anyone else do that. I didn't see anyone else doing that when they're on weed. So I don't think I have the right kind of brain to take drugs at all. Where do you get your comedic edge from? Now, that is a fabulous question, ME1. Knowing you, knowing ME. I don't do I have a comedic edge? What's a comedic edge? I don't know. I've always found sarcasm and irony to be very funny. And I grew up around very sort of ironic people, strange people who are just a bit different. I think I always felt all of my family were a bit just a bit different to other families, and so you had a little bit of people thinking they should be taken more seriously than they were being, which I always found funny. I can't really explain it. I guess I've never really thought about it. Why do I find funny what I find funny, and other people? I'm gonna get battered for this. How many of us feel battered? And other people find it funny. Find Philemon a Kunk funny. I'm sorry, I know some of you love that. But that's failed irony, in my honest opinion. Trying to be ironic and failing. But anyway, I am running out of time, but I've really enjoyed this and I want to do it again. That's another thing I say on dates. In exactly that tone, I have enjoyed this and like to do it again. Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing more lives. It was fun. Did you enjoy it? If you did enjoy it, please hit the bloody like button. God, don't put your back out. All right. I want to see more likes. That's right. More, damn you. I can actually see it going up now. It's hilarious. Go. This is really fun. See, other people, they're all cool about their lives, aren't they? They're just there like, hey guys, reading the chat, you know, looking at videos. They've got everything set up. Well, look at my setup. It's my computer, which it works fine, right? But it's being held together with sellotape. Now, and there's my little lights and stuff. Now, that isn't because I can't afford a new computer. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm not on the council estate anymore. It's all fine, right? But when something works, I don't want the hassle of getting a new thing and setting it up, and it still works. So there's a bit of sellotape on it. Big deal. That's just the way I see it. Anyway, I think it's probably about time to end this after the tour of my setup. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much to all of you that have been contributing in the chat, or especially those of you who've hit the damn like button. That's right. And I'm going to leave it there, and this will be up as a video, so you can sit for an hour and 20 minutes and watch me struggle through all of this. But yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. What hairgel do you use? I can't uppercut. Watch the video. Bye.